Welcome to Partnership of Greatness. I'm your host, Pastor Moses Chiluba. My wife is not with me tonight, but in the studio I have Apostle Simon Chavinga. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. Welcome, viewers.
Amen. Apostle Simon Chavinga is my son, and he does his work in South Africa. But let me read the scriptures with you. Matthew chapter 28, verses 18, 19, and 20. And Jesus came and spoke to them, saying, All authority has been given to me in heaven and on earth. Go therefore and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, teaching them to observe all things that I have commanded you. And lo, I am with you always, even to the end of the age. Children of the Most High God, my son and I want to look at this scripture wonderfully. And after the break, we have an apostle of God who also is going to come on this same show tonight. But first, who is Simon Chavinga? Tell our viewers who Simon Chavinga is, whether you are married, whether you are divorced, or whether you are single, so that if you are single, I can give the phone number to the nation.
Well, Simon Chavinga is married. I'm married with vibrant preacher, Pastor Flora Chavinga. We are blessed with 2 children. The boy is 18 years, the daughter is 13 years old.
Now tell me something, Simon. By the special grace of God, Sonny, you just came out of a miracle.
Yes.
This son of mine was involved in an accident that involved lives of people. And tell me, that was last year.
That was last year in February. Now it is exactly 1 year. What happened was I left my home. I hitchhiked.
Which town?
Polokwane. I hitchhiked a car and I was given a lift. On the way, we had a head-on collision. The driver died on the same spot. Me, I was airlifted to a private hospital. And
you were involved in a head-on collision.
Fatal accident. And the driver died on the same spot. I was taken to a government hospital, but the care was not good. Then I was transferred to a private hospital in Johannesburg. And there I was admitted, and I was in a coma for 3 weeks. No talking. I was surviving on life support. But after 3 weeks, I opened my eyes, and Jesus spoke to me.
The doctors gave you, they put you in a coma.
I was in a coma, and they put oxygen on me in the intensive care unit. They call it life support. So I had a lot of tubes all over my body. And I wasn't talking or even opening my eyes for 3 weeks. And all hope was gone, but people were praying for me. Zambia was praying for me, America, South Africa, all over the world. Then after 3 weeks, I opened my eyes. That's when I knew that I was in the hospital. Yes. Then I'd lost hope, and people thought I was going to die. But God spoke to me, calling me by my name. Simon Chavinga. Simon Chavinga, I've given you a second chance in life. Go and preach feed the hungry, raise upcoming preachers, and do my work. Then after another 2 weeks, I was discharged. When I was discharged, I was given a walker because in the accident, I broke my right leg. Both the fibula and tubular bones were broken. I could not walk. Then I had to do physiotherapy. Then I was discharged. But when they discharged me, I was given a walker. But when I reached my house, I threw the walker away, I believe, and I started walking. Even up to now, I'm walking. I give God the glory.
Amen. Oh, well, dear Camden TV viewers, had you seen or if you saw the photos of the accident, you would just say that there is a God up there. When did you go to South Africa, Sunny? I've lost track. Which year did you?
Before I talk about South Africa, I worked here in Zambia in the Pentecostal Holiness. I was sent to Mazabuka by Bishop Samson Piri. Then in Mazabuka, I worked.
The late Samson.
Yes. Then in Mazabuka, I worked for 2 years. I planted the church for Holiness Church. Then I was invited to Bulawayo. I went to preach in Bulawayo. Then in the year 2000, I was called to go to South Africa and work as a missionary. So I went to South Africa in the year 2000 to work as a missionary.
So this is 20 years you've been in South Africa.
Yes, Daddy.
And your church is in Polokwane, right?
Polokwane, yes. We have a church in Polokwane, but I'm not pastoring it now. I've given it to another pastor. I'm focusing on what God told me after He raised me from a coma, which is to go out and preach the gospel, raise young preachers, and feed the hungry. I'm following what God told me to do.
Amen.
Amen.
Well, we are so grateful that by the special grace of God, the Lord brought you up.
Amen.
And, his wife, dear Camden TV viewers, kept on phoning my wife, and very strong, courageous young lady. She was always by the bedside of this young man.
Yes.
And it's these people that you say, she married you not for money.
Amen.
Not even for status.
That is right.
Because
I agree.
she met you even before you had your car, or you are a blessing. The Bible says, go ye therefore. Africa, are you doing the same, or you are doing the program here in Zambia?
I'm also doing it in South Africa, but in South Africa I'm doing itinerant preaching. I go to churches to teach them that the church is not there only to preach, but we must touch the needs of the community. Yes, I do that.
I want you to just look in that camera, Simon. What would you say to a young minister of the Word of God? And what is your message to the young ministers in Zambia?
What I would say to all the young ministers and upcoming preachers in Zambia is that the only source of power is the Lord Jesus Christ. Because Acts chapter 1 verse 8 says, but you shall receive power, not power,
Spirit has come.
when the Holy Ghost has come upon you. So there are three things. Number one, if you want to be an effective young preacher, live a holy life.
Amen.
Number two, be led and guided by the Holy Spirit. And number three, be a man of prayer and fasting. These three issues are the ones which can help us to get power. You cannot have power by buying or using money. You need to be holy. You need to pray and fast and to be led and guided by the Holy Spirit.
Can I add the fourth thing?
Yes.
Simon?
Yes, sir.
Every young minister should have a spiritual father.
Amen.
You need guidance in your life.
You are right.
Like you, Sonny.
Yes.
I've seen you now, gray hair is coming, and no matter how anointed you are,
Yes, Daddy.
I cannot fail to call you and say, Simon, it's this. You
Amen.
are my son.
Amen.
Komangole for kunkana pa TV nkana. Pabo our audience issue that I'm not your father.
You are my true father, and I'm happy to be mentored and guided by your leadership, and you are leading by example, the man of high ministerial integrity and caliber, the man of God who is not even into titles. For all these years, you are just called a pastor. And I've seen young people rising up who are calling themselves big titles, big names. I agree with Bishop Noel Jones, who said a title means nothing without the anointing. I would rather be anointed than to carry the title with no power. So I agree with him. First is the results, then the title. But today people want to have a title without fruit. Yes.
Simon, tell me something.
Yes, sir.
The Lord has blessed you.
Amen.
You've been in that Joburg, Polokwane, to be specific.
Yes.
And the Lord has sent you to far countries.
Yes.
You've been going to America for a long time.
Many
But how many months did it take from your fatal accident for you to step down, to step into America? How many months did it take?
It didn't take long. Once I was discharged in March, then I stayed at home for 2 weeks. Then I went to get my visa because my 10-year visa had expired during the time of my accident. So what happened now was I applied and I was invited again to the American Embassy in Johannesburg. And I was very weak, I couldn't even walk properly. And they called me out of the queue to say, "Sir, come." Then I had to follow them. Then they said, "No need for you to stand in the queue. Come here for an interview." I gave them the documents. They interviewed me. One question. Have you ever been to America? I said, yes. Another question. How many times? I said 15 times. They said, "Sir, your visa has been approved. We are giving you another 10 years. Then after I got the visa in June, I took a long flight from Johannesburg to John Kennedy Airport to go and preach the gospel.
And you were not feeling so complete at that time, were you?
Yes, I was actually, when I reached at the airport at JFK, they had to push me on a wheelchair and they helped me stamp the passport and I connected the flight. But after I came back from America, now I'm able to walk through the terminal, stamp the passport, and I've recovered, and I thank God I'm recovering very, very well.
Amen. Well, Simon, I want you to know that, Sunny, you are a miracle. Your mother and I are very grateful.
Amen.
Team Camnet, you may recall, those of you who watch our television broadcast, this young man has been in our church, and I've entrusted him with a pulpit, and on a Sunday he was able to take the service, and you watched him, some of you. What is your vision, Simon, about Zambia? I can see now you are visiting a lot of times into Zambia instead of just being confined in South Africa. What is your vision? I know you are feeding the...
Yes, that is a very wonderful question. When the Lord raised me out of a coma, He spoke to me that do 4 things actually. feed the hungry, raising preachers, plant churches, and do evangelism. My vision for Zambia is not to plant a church, but to do my work which God has called me, which I call now Simon Chavinga Ministries. I'll work with the pastors. I'll work with you, Daddy. When you want a crusade, I'll come in and hold a crusade for you and train your people to do evangelism. So my vision is not only in South Africa, but my vision is to the nations. The name that they call me an apostle to the nations. So I believe Zambia, I will do the work here to plant churches, feed the hungry, train pastors, and do the work of evangelism. That is my vision.
The scriptures we read, Sani, it says, Jesus came and spoke to them and said, all power has been given to me in heaven, on earth, and under the world. Under this world, of course, hell.
Amen.
Tell me something. Can a preacher have power other than that of Jesus?
It is a lie. A preacher cannot have his own power. I've already read Acts chapter 1, verse 8. But you shall receive power. That word power in the Greek is the word dunamis, which means ability, destructive power. So in other words, a preacher has got no right to give people power. The only one who has got power is Jesus. So if you hear the preacher telling you that I want to give you powers, run away, because there is only one power, and that power is in Jesus. And the source of that power is God. So these who say, I want to give you power. And the other thing I forgot to tell you, Daddy, when I was in a coma, 4 false prophets appeared to me in my dream. They were telling me, get this water, you'll be healed. Pay money, you'll be healed. Do this and that, you'll be healed. I must tell the viewers that I was helpless. I nearly wanted to believe, but Jesus spoke to me and he said, Simon Chavinga, don't follow what they are telling you. I have given you a second chance.
Hallelujah.
You will live and not die. I will heal you. And truly the Lord healed.
By calling. So I know many people confuse it. They think when you're a bishop, you're bigger than apostles and pastors and all that. But that is not it.
There are a lot of people who do that actually. I tell this story.
Yeah.
We were in town.
Yes.
One man of God,
Yeah.
a respected man of God in this nation,
Right.
he wanted me to go and preach in his church.
Yes, sir.
So as we stood by Finance Bank in town, we had a length chat.
Right.
He was suggesting the days when he could come, when I could go to his church.
Right.
His bishop something, I won't mention the
Love
name.
cows, yes.
So a pastor came from the opposite side, and when he greeted me like this, Pastor Chivo, how are you?
All
I
right.
said, I'm fine, sir.
Yeah.
Then he goes to this bishop and he says, Bishop, how are you?
That is the funny thing that many people don't understand.
Yeah.
Actually, one thing I can help pastors to understand. It's like Pastor Chiluba, your title has remained the same for many, many years. When I read Ephesians 4, the Bible tells me clearly that it is Him, God, who made others, teachers, pastors, evangelists, prophets, and apostles. Jesus, which means that is what we call the fivefold ministry. But to be a bishop is a desire. He that desires the office of the bishop.
We'll get into that. We will get into that. You're coming on very well.
That's right.
Amen. So, as I was saying, Bishop,
Yes, sir.
that action of greeting me like this,
Right.
and greeting somebody like this, it puzzled me, so I almost went to the title of bishop. But the funny thing is this,
Yeah,
the same pastor,
you're right.
saw this man and he said, the bishop, it's an honor to have you.
Right.
Please, I would want you to come and speak
Yeah.
in our church. And the man looks, and that pastor has passed through my hands. The man looks and says, have you invited Pastor Sugar? He says, no, he will come. You know, when I saw you, I just said I must invite the bishop. He says, you know what? If I were you, I would rather start with this man. Because here, you found me negotiating for him to come into my pulpit.
Oh, my word.
So when I got home, I just said, I don't know, and maybe I will start being a bishop. Listen to how, but I like what you have said and expose the subject of an apostle, because many people, bishop.
Yes, sir.
Again, I greeted one pastor. I thought he was a pastor. I greeted him and I said, Pastor, how are you? He says, why are you demoting me?
Oh, my word. Okay.
I've been a bishop for the past 2 years and you are taking me back to a pastor. I said, I'm sorry. Bishop, how are you?
It's a lack of understanding.
Yeah.
I was consecrated bishop by the Bishops' Council of England and Wales, and the head of it is a queen. Yeah, and we are all bishops, different bishops belong to that organization. But I'll ask you, maybe I'll tell you this. Did they ask me any qualification to be consecrated as a bishop? Yes. And what was it? Number one, obviously, if you can never become a bishop if you don't have an apostolic calling. Yeah, and an apostolic calling must bear results. And the results of an apostle or apostolic calling is to pioneer things that have not been there, finding churches that were not there, and the raising of leaders, raising of sons. Though we have a lot of people today who are called bishops, some of them are not even married, which is against the Bible. We have got all those people who want to become bishops and they think they are bigger than pastors. The fivefold ministry, it's a same group. Pastors, teachers, apostles, prophets, and evangelists. That's a fivefold ministry. No one is bigger than the other. The prophet is not bigger than the evangelist. The evangelist is not bigger than the... But we all come up with all these things as if one is superior than the other. No, we are all the same to edify the body of Christ. But the challenge that we have is that people who are not called in particular ministries are occupying those positions and answering to those titles and they abuse them. We have got bishops who don't have an apostolic calling. And we have got prophets who think they are superior than pastors. Not understanding that the fivefold ministry is there to equip the saints. It's a grace God has put upon you, the particular calling. But every calling works wonders. When you are a pastor, you can still become great as a pastor.
So it's not for personal status?
It's not for personal status. It's for fulfilling the calling God has put upon you. But the reason why we're having this confusion, including the illustration you gave, is because people occupying the positions are not called in those callings. So when they sit there, they think it's a title like being a general manager. And it messes everything up. Then you call somebody, say, how are you, pastor? And they say, why do you call me a pastor? And yet it's pastor in your church. Because pastor simply means shepherd.
Shepherd, yeah.
You are shepherding the people.
Yeah.
If you have got sheep and you are shepherding them, you are a pastor. I'm a bishop, I'm a pastor.
No, because him, according to his understanding, he's graduated, he has planted churches. Now he's a bishop, no longer a pastor, because he's overseeing churches.
Bishop is not in the fivefold ministry. Bishop, actually a bishop is an elder. According to the Greek word, it's a presbyter. Somebody who has an experience. You see, like you, whether you have a title or not, you are a bishop. Why are you a bishop? You are a presbyter, you are an elder, you have more experience than most of all of us. You have raised the sons all over this nation and around the world who today are looking up to you. Even us, personally, when I was young, I used to watch your program on ZNBC. I got very motivated. Today I'm on TV because the thing I saw you do. I never met you in person for a long time, but I knew about you. I lived far from Lusaka. But I knew about you because I could watch you and listen to you preach. And you may not know. You had an impact on my life. So I would say in one way or the other, I'm one of the people you have raised. I'm in South Africa. And that is the bishop we are talking about. That is the apostle we are talking about. But people think when they wear the long gown, then they have become big. No, it's not like that. In fact, to be a bishop is a desire. Number one. Number two is an administrative position. Because now you are managing people under you. You are teaching them how to run it. It's an administrative position.
That's right.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Bishop, there is this title which is mushrooming and taking the nation by storm.
Right.
Prophet.
Prophet.
I think, in the days when I got saved, in the 70s,
Yes.
when you hear prophet,
Yes.
it carried that mantle
Very
and
strong.
the office. And up to today, I still remember, if there is one prophet that I've forever honored in my life,
Right.
was Barry Smith.
Barry
Remember from New Zealand?
Yes, I remember Barry Smith.
In 1990,
Right.
he was talking about things that are happening today.
Yeah, today they're happening. He prophesied about them.
Before we had cell phones, he was talking about
The increase in the
those
technological
of you
knowledge.
that can Google Barry Smith of New Zealand and you listen to his teachings, he was incredible.
That's right.
1991, they called him to the UN.
Yes.
And in 1998, they called him to 1999. They called him to address a group of scientists in New York about the Y2K.
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 Yes,
You remember
Y2K.
everyone thought there
everyone
would be
thought there would be a change of some kind.
there will be
The
a
year
time
2000.
bomb, there will be the calendar will come to an end.
The year 2000.
He addressed
Yeah,
that in
Y2K.
New York and they said, you are a false prophet.
Yes.
When he finished, he said, I'll come back here because this thing won't collapse.
That's right.
But that man, in short, was a prophet.
That was a prophet.
He would tell what would happen
What would happen?
in future. I never heard him say, your cell phone number is this and that.
No.
This prophetic which is now,
Right.
is it a modern prophetic ministry or anointing or what?
When we talk about a prophet, first of all, we must understand that prophet is an office, just like the office of the pastor. Prophecy, or to prophesy, is a gift. You can prophesy without being a prophet. But you can't be a prophet without prophesying. Because a prophet occupies the prophetic office. Now, when you talk about Smith, Barry Smith, those are the prophets of God. Because a prophet speaks the mind of God. He foretells of what is yet to come by the revelation of the Spirit of God.
Come on.
But the challenge that we have today is there has been a wave of prophecy and the prophetic that came, which is being used by people who are not called in the office. Most of them are, I call them diviners. Most of them, I call them tricksters. Most of them, I call them just people that, I call them manipulators. Because the first thing we must understand, what is prophecy? Prophecy is revealing the will of God about somebody's life in accordance to the word of God. Because prophecy must encourage, rebuke. It must also correct
And exhort.
and exhort. That is what prophecy is all about. But most prophecies we hear today are not right. Number one, they are full of threats. Number two, they have a price. It's like you have to buy it. Number three, they have no spirit. Number four, the areas that are covered when prophesying are unnecessary. For example, you talk about calling the phone number. I don't need anyone to tell me about my phone number. If I want to know it, I can ask Zamtel. Zamtel can tell me my number.
Yeah.
And Zamtel the prophet. So we have shifted from the purpose of the prophetic. So it has become a showing of game. It has become a power game. It has become creating of one's domain, building of empires. And the young ones, they start to desire that. Then they start to learn some things. That's why Ephesians 4 is very clear. It is Him, Christ, who made others to be apostles, to be evangelists, prophets. But how come today, Pastor, the people are saying, you can come to me, I'll open your eyes, and I'll make you a prophet. And somebody will go to a certain place and you'll come back and you'll be prophesying. You see, there is a difference between impartation and what these people are doing. What these people are doing, they are training each other how to prophesy. And that becomes a problem. What am I trying to say? The prophets of today, 95% of it is false. Because when you look at it, they call numbers, they call names, they call towns, they call addresses, they call number plates, they call all that. All those things are not going to help you and me, Pastor Chiluba. But how do they say, if you come to me, I'll open your eyes and I'll make you prophesy? It's a trick thing, because this prophetic of today is in 3 dimensions. Prophecy by information, prophecy by manipulation, prophet by witchcraft.
Talk about that. That's good. In the 3 dimensions.
3 dimensions. And nothing biblical. You must
Prophecy by
information, manipulation, and witchcraft.
What do you mean by prophecy? Prophecy by information.
Okay, this is whereby a person sucks information from you. They get maybe most of these people, they move with a lot of boys who they may send ahead of time to come and research certain things in your church about you. What things they have heard about you. You know, after they know who you are, what you have done. Other people even can use Google. You know, that's why the things they talk about is your date of birth, the number plate of the car, your telephone number. They may call the name of your wife and your children, but they have nothing to talk about anything tangible that is spiritual. That's why today you and me, right now, we can go to any so-called prophet even in this country and say, prophesy on me. You won't be able to say anything. You know what? I never gave him a chance to give him information. Yes. So, by information, they suck information from you by making people to associate with you. Maybe one of your friends, who is a pastor, relates with another guy who claims to be a prophet. And he tell me about Pastor Chiluba. And he tells him, Pastor Chiluba has got a cabinet TV. Pastor Chiluba has got 5 children. Pastor Chiluba has been in ministry for the past maybe 40 years. Pastor Chiluba one time got sick. He survived an accident and all that. And he comes and he said, the Lord is opening my eyes. And he's saying, one time you survived an accident. And you say, amen. Oh, wow, that's true. Then from there he's going to say, oh, I see a TV cabinet. You say that's going to be true. And after that he's going to ask you to sow a seed. So you see, I see an attack on your TV. I see an attack on your TV. So
Bringing a threat.
Yes, you bring a threat now. So they turn it now. Then it goes to the second level, which is manipulation. So you know it was in information. It goes to manipulation. So to manipulate is to scare you. When they scare you, then from there they're going to ask something, which now become like a redemption seed, a redemption offering. And yet Jesus died already on the cross, our greatest redeemer. They don't consider that. You have to pay a price on your own. So they manipulate you, they will turn it around and make you very afraid. And when they tell you that they see an attack, you're going to run away from it. So you're going to run for whatever they say. They say, man of God, what can I do? Okay, I want you to give me 50,000 or give me the car that you are having. And you're going to give a car. And that's the end of the say, I've stopped it. The question that I have is, if you didn't have 50,000, it means you're not going to be able to get your redemption.
I'm telling you.
So does it mean this prophetic move is only for the people with money? I thought when Jesus died, he died for everybody. Then there is now the issue of the witchcraft, where the people are operating with a medium spirit, whereby the nyangas, they operate the same. Nyanga can tell you exactly what you did, and he may tell you the truth.
And they are very accurate.
They are very accurate. That's why what the church is not understanding is that the accuracy of the prophecy does not mean the source is right. And the accuracy of the prophecy does not qualify the prophet to be the prophet.
I like what you said.
Yes.
The accuracy of the prophecy does not mean the source.
Yeah, the source is correct. Because a Nyanga, a Sangoma, we call them Sangomas in South Africa, can give you a right prophecy, can tell you the truth, but the source is wrong because there's some medium spirits involved.
Like the young girl who was following
Paul. Exactly. She told the truth.
everything,
It was
even in the past.
It was accurate. But Paul, discerned by the Spirit,
The source.
said this source is wrong. And you had to cast out the spirit. And Paul was persecuted for that. Why? So the accuracy, now what the church is following today is accuracy. They're not following the source. Neither are they looking at the fruit of the prophet. To me, if you give me a glass of water, I'm not just going to say I'll drink this water without taking care or without checking the container. That's how the church is today. If I brought a glass of water to you today, sir, and I rub some mud around the glass, but the water inside is clean, you won't drink it.
No, I won't.
You won't drink because the container is wrong. So why are these people saying we only care about the prophets and they're not caring about the container? Because most of these so-called prophets are not living right. Most of these prophets are drinking and smoking. Most of these prophets are living in fornication and adultery. I live in South Africa. I see this thing every day. So if the container is dirty, I can't drink the water that is in there because the container makes the content undesirable. And this is exactly what is happening. That's why Jesus said, you will know them by their fruits. Because many people perform miracles. Jesus confirms it in Matthew 7. He says, in those days, many will come to me and they'll say, I perform miracles in your name. So don't say they don't move God. And the church has moved away from there. But I'm going to tell you something. This thing is a wave from West Africa. Zambia never had this thing 10 years ago.
No.
It was not here.
I never even knew about this thing when we were growing up in the things of God.
It's a wave.
70s, 80s, 90s, we never had this.
It is a wave. And because of that now, everybody is calling names and all these things are going on and it is destroying people. That's why you'll be shocked to hear that somebody has threatened the nation, has said something to say, I've got this power, I can do this.
Like recently we had the so-called prophet in South Africa.
Yes.
Holding the nation to ransom for no apparent reasons.
No, but that
I
is
stood here with my wife and this. I said nothing is going to happen. But why do you pay attention to such things?
a lot of these young guys, it's not that they can do anything. They are trying to draw attention. They are trying to scare. That's manipulation. I told you about manipulation. If you ask him to say, who are you talking about in this nation? He won't mention a name. But he's trying to get a mileage on the weakness of probably the nation. Because he sees maybe there is a weakness somewhere.
And the threats you were talking about.
Yes, and the threats. Then he starts to bring threats to say this and that. The truth of the matter is that they don't have anything. God is supreme. And Zambia being a Christian nation, there is no one who can do anything on this country except God himself.
And the guy goes on to say that I'm going to say this on Sunday.
Yes.
Sunday moves to Thursday.
No.
Thursday what? And I said nobody is going to die out of that run.
This thing, it's a West African thing. Himself, the one speaking like that, he doesn't have any power to kill anyone. He has no power. He's not God. He can't kill anyone. Even if he threatens a person to say, I can visit you tonight, he cannot, because even if he uses the powers of witchcraft, he cannot be able to do that, because we as God's children, we are covered under the blood of Jesus.
Absolutely.
If you are covered under the blood of Jesus, you can never be afraid of a manipulator. You can never be afraid of a false prophet. We have more power than them.
Come on.
We have more power than these Nyangas and Sangomas. There is nothing these young boys can do. And him speaking to the nation, and I'm going to say this. In the Bible, we had what we call governmental prophets. It's not every prophet who must speak to the government.
Talk to me.
It's not. There are prophets who were called only to individuals. You must read the Bible very well. Then there were prophets who were called to government. People could go and speak to one Nebuchadnezzar. You know, like about Daniel. It was not
Micah,
like Micah.
Isaiah.
Yes, it's not everybody who did that. But today you find that everyone will say, I see the flag is becoming half. There will be death in Zambia. These boys are hungry and they think maybe they can scare the president.
Yeah.
Maybe they can scare some parties in the country. They don't even have God's mandate to speak to the government to start with. And God will never reveal
Absolutely.
anything to those young boys about the government, because God is a God of order. There are voices God is going to use. I'm not trying to underrate anybody, but I have been in this in the ministry for quite some time.
Well, what you are saying, Bishop,
Yes.
I get sick,
Right.
for lack of better terms.
That's right.
There are some small prophets that are rising,
Yes.
saying things to our government here, saying things to this, and they just utter. They've got verbal diarrhea in their mouths. They just utter anything that comes. No, Madam Sumali is like this. No, the government is this. No, there will be this change. And people are listening to such rubbish.
No, you can't.
The content of the Word of God is lacking in everything they say.
Exactly, because when you look, how long, let's start here, how long did it take to make a prophet in the Bible? 30 years.
Of course.
30 years. But these boys, they leave your church today, tomorrow is a prophet.
Of course.
How did he become one? Number two, the Bible, nowhere it commands the church to go and prophesy to the government. The Bible says we must pray for our leaders. Leadership comes from God. If a person doesn't like the ruling party, he must wait for the ruling party to be voted out by the citizens. When the citizens themselves have voted the party out, the party that come into power, we must pray for the party. They become our leaders.
Whether you like
it or not. That's Bible. I live in South Africa. We are ruled by African National Congress. We have changed the president. There has been confusion there and there. We have a Jacob Zuma that did not finish his term. Right now we have got Cyril Ramaphosa. But I don't stand in my church and instigate the people to fight ANC. We pray for the party because they are in power. When God removes the leadership away from them, because leadership comes from God, if let's say EFF comes into power, if DA comes into power, my responsibility is to pray. Me, I pray for the leaders. That's my responsibility. So the responsibility of the church.
Without siding.
No, without siding. Whoever is in power, I submit to whoever is in power. Because the Bible says submit to authority.
And to the bishops and the pastors who say, because here, I can tell you, I've said this time without number here on Kamene TV.
Yes.
As we are speaking, Bishop, you are in South Africa, I'm here.
Yes.
There are bishops for President Lungu and pastors for Lungu.
No.
There are pastors for HHA here.
No.
And there are pastors for President Mumba, probably Chishimba Kambwe. There are pastors in those groups. I get confused.
We cannot divide the church because of our political affiliation. A church must always remain neutral. We need to pray for good governance. That's what the church must gather for. We pray for the good governance of our country. Let the will of God be done. But if the church is going to start to become political and we get divided, then the church has failed its mandate. Then we can never bring even people to the Lord. That's why I'm saying to you that when we have the government in power, criticizing them is not going to make it better. Praying for them will make it better.
Absolutely.
Praying for them will make it better. We must pray for wisdom. We must pray for the fear of God. Let's pray for more investors to come into the country. Let's pray God to clean those who are not needed. Let's pray God to empower those who have got a heart for the nation. But we have to pray for them. But if we are not going to stand and start campaigning, we're not going to use our pulpits to turn them into a political arena.
And to insult some.
And in fact, you must not insult a president. You must not insult a leader. As a Christian leader, as a man of God, you can never insult your leader. Already the scripture has been broken. I don't care what a leader has done to me. I'll never stand and strike against him. I'll never stand and call him names. No. I have taught my church like that for the past 8 years.
Like you just right, Bishop. You know, David knew that Saul was rejected by God.
Thank you.
He knew that he had fallen. He was not in favor with God.
He knew that, yes.
And he knew he was the next king.
Yes.
So when his friends incited him to kill him in that cave,
yes,
he said, I cannot.
No, I cannot
touch the Lord's anointed.
Exactly.
And the people don't understand that even after Lucifer had fallen, God in Ezekiel called him the anointed cherubim.
The anointed cherubim. That's correct. And that's what people don't understand. People don't understand the power and the greatness of leadership. They think leadership ends because you have left your throne. No, it does not come to an end. That's why I like the way the army operate. You see, the army are very biblical because most armies have been set up according to a Roman arrangement. And if you look, the Roman arrangement has a big influence on the Bible. Now you look at the soldiers today, even when a retired general retires, they still continue to salute to them. The respect does not come to an end.
Bishop, what you have just said, you have hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
We went with my team to Chief Nyampande, may so rest in peace.
Right.
A few weeks ago, we lost our father,
yes,
Chief Nyampande.
Yes.
We went to Petauke.
Right.
And during that ceremony, I saw this General Mumbi, who is an uncle to the throne.
Okay.
He comes to me and he says, Pastor Shiva, I watch you on Camnet. Your elder brother, General Shiva, he was my officer.
Right.
So I said, oh, you know my brother, because my brother retired as General, Brigadier General.
Brigadier General.
So he says, you must greet him. Just tell him General Mumbi. So I call him. And I said, oh, General, I've got General Mumbi here.
Here with me.
He says, are you with him? He's my boss. Right. They are both retired.
They are retired, yes.
He says, that's my boss. He taught me. When I joined the army, he was my platoon commander. Please, let me greet him. And he says, how are you, sir? Like you are saying.
That's correct.
The army is very disciplined.
It's a Roman arrangement, which has a great influence on the Bible. But today you find that we start to get divided. And we start to get divided. Even when we're going to say we are a Christian nation, we cease to be a Christian nation. Because a Christian nation must uphold Christian values. What are the Christian values? It's the Bible. The Bible is our constitution. The Bible is our standard of living. But if we're going to use our churches and we pastors, we start to campaign against certain people, we are going to lose a lot of things. This is the reason why you find, and I'm going to tell you this thing for free, a lot of people are not going to church today in Zambia.
Because of us.
Yeah, because of us pastors. The issue is because we have turned our pulpits into a political thing. Instead of us to pray for our nation, we have started to campaign against each other. And we become people that are fighting and insulting one another. A church is the only organization and the only embassy God is going to use to unite the nation. But when the church is divided, the nation can never be divided. The reason why I'm against even what you mentioned, I stand with you when you say pastors for Lungu, pastors for a church, pastors for whoever and all that. No, we must be pastors for good governance.
You know, I'll tell you something, Bishop. For me and my wife,
yes,
on this Camnet TV,
yes.
Oh no. I've said to the people, I was so close to President Sata. I worked with him for 23 years.
Right.
And I've told the nation here, when he was forming his government, he asked me to serve as Minister of Home Affairs.
Yes.
I said, no, sir. With my humor, of course, I said, sir, Mwambiko, I would deport certain people who don't like me. Hello, Mwambiko Kabakaka. Any abuse of power. So I just said, leave me as I am.
Yeah.
What I could not stand, Bishop, is for me to look at President Sata like an angel and look at HH and Chimbakambwili or other politicians like they are devils.
Right.
For me, I can't stand that because all these political leaders, including our president, he needs a prophetic voice. He needs a man of God where he can go and say, Pastor, I don't know, what should I do here? But the church has lost its...
That is exactly what we are at right now. The president in the country, the government need a prophetic voice. Somebody who can see in the spirit and give direction to the government. Speak to the president. Pray with him. Strengthen him. Counsel him. Give him wisdom. We know he's the head of state. He's got all the qualifications, but we have got a spiritual understanding of certain things. Because some of the things that are happening in Zambia, don't just tell me that they're economical issues. No, some of the issues here are spiritual, Pastor Chiluba. It will take the church to break certain things down. But if we don't stand with him, we don't counsel him, we don't become a prophetic voice to show him what we see coming on the nation of Zambia, he's not going to see.
No.
But the church has become blind. They are not seeing. The reason is they have taken one side. We need to see what is God saying even about Kambwili? What is God saying about HH? What is God saying about all these people that are formed political parties? What is God saying about Dr. Nevas Mumba? We need, as a church, we need a prophetic voice that is going to bring a direction.
That's right.
But when we divide ourselves and all we do is to reap and to break the ruling party, then we are going to lose. Remember, the ruling party is ruling. They are still in power because it's democracy. So no matter how much you pray, until the term finishes, and the citizen of Zambia, they need to vote. So the question is, what happens between now and then? Because no matter how much we're going to cause riots, fight, do this, insult, it doesn't help. But if we can be in prayer and God raises a voice in this nation, God need to raise a prophet that will need to speak. But when you see people to say, no, we are pastors for a certain political party, is a problem. Now I'm going to tell you something. This is what is also worrying. Some of these people are supposed to be prophets. They are taking advantage over a position that you denied. They are being sent as ambassadors. They are leaving their prophetic office. And now if pastors start to quit their prophetic offices because they feel there is greener pastures in becoming an ambassador, then the church is getting disarmed.
Or to be close to the president.
Or to be close to the president.
I pray with the president.
I pray with the president. The issue is not about praying with the president. The issue is that what deposit spiritually do you make into the president? That is going to strengthen him and give him wisdom and direction to rule the country. Because certain things need spiritual intervention.
Come on.
We need spiritual intervention in this country. When we see a dollar going the way it is going, you can't blame one person.
No.
PF is not His Excellency Edgar Lungu. PF is a system. It's an organization. He did not start it. He found it. His Excellency can get out of office today, but PF is still there.
Yes.
It's a system. So what do we need? We need to learn how to bring direction spiritually. But today the challenge we have is because a lot of the so-called prophets have lost direction and they are compromising the truth.
Absolutely.
If that position you were given by our late President Sata was given to someone else, they would have thought God answered their prayer. Right now, as we are seated here, I was preaching 3 weeks ago. The Deputy President Didima was there, Julius Malema was there, all these political leaders were there. It was a very big funeral I was doing. The people that follow me on Facebook, they saw that the former general, the Treasurer General of ANC, hired, chartered a helicopter for me that kept me in the air.
Really?
For over 5 hours, because I needed to go do a funeral and do a wedding. It was 800 kilometers apart. So when I preached, the Deputy President came to me and he told me, we have no chaplain.
I saw those photos.
You saw the
with Mabuza?
With Mabuza, yes.
And Julius
Malema. Yes, and Halima and all those people. Said, we need a chaplain for ANC. We have no chaplain for the organization. We need a man who can speak to us the way you spoke.
Really?
Because I spoke salvation, I spoke Christ.
Without compromise.
Without compromise. I told them I don't care who's going to rule South Africa. We need somebody who's going to understand the power of God. Somebody who's going to acknowledge that leadership is from God and God needed to come and help them rule. And number one, they also need to make Jesus their Lord and Savior.
Amen.
And they said, no one has said this thing to us. Everyone who come here, they are looking for a connection, for tenders and all that. And he came and told me that. And I said, I'll be happy to do that. But you need to know, my obligation is to pray for this nation, South Africa.
Amen.
And that, I feel that's where we need to stand right now.
I saw your photos actually
Yes.
when you stood with Julius Malema.
That's right.
And the Vice President of South Africa,
yes,
Mabuza,
yes.
and all these big people.
I was there.
You were the one conducting.
I was the one who conducted that funeral. Yes. And I told them, I had a wedding that day on a Saturday. So they told me I must go and do a burial. So I told them, but I have the wedding of my church member. The wedding is at 11. They wanted me to do a burial at 8 in the morning. So I told the former Treasurer General of ANC, Matthew Paulson. He lived in this country during the time of exile. He was the first black lawyer in South Africa, the first premier of Mpumalanga, who became the Treasurer General of ANC, and he was now going for presidency. The wife is in my church. So he requested me to go and bury the daughter. Then I said, between the funeral and the wedding, I think I need to do the wedding. So he said, no, I need you to come after I preached, because most of his friends were coming and other government officials were coming. He said, I can't risk to have any other pastor. People need to hear this word that you are preaching, because you preached without fear. And you brought a lot of understanding. We all feel like going to church right now. So I told him, no matter how much I can drive, I won't be able to make it. So he said, it's not a problem. We're going to charter a helicopter for you. So they
is that the helicopter?
That's the helicopter you saw on the pictures.
They just chartered for you.
They chartered for me. For me to go and do a funeral, so that I can also catch the time to do the wedding. So it was on their cost. Just for me to go and preach. Because all the parties were there, the opposition were there, but I preached Christ.
Amen.
And I told them, because in South Africa I talk about exile, we were in exile and all that. I told them, Jesus went into exile in Egypt when he was afraid of Pharaoh. And you people went into exile in Zambia and all over. There is a camp for ANC, here in Zambia. The ANC was helped so much by our first Republican President, Dr. Kenneth Kaunda.
And
Nyerere and all that. So I was telling them that Jesus also was in exile to come and form not a political party, but a party that was going to accommodate all the political parties.
Hallelujah.
He ran away from Herod when he wanted to kill him. He was in exile in Egypt for some time. He came back, he died on the cross. So I belong to a party that accommodates all parties. And Jesus is the head of this party.
Come on.
And the party is called Christianity. And all of you here, you are invited, because it's the only party that unites all political parties.
Oh, Jehovah.
In this party called Christianity, ANC enters, DA enters. So we have got PF, we can have UPND, we can have Kambwili, we can have everybody. It accommodates all of us. And if we understand that party, no one is going to fight another person. PF wants to look at HH as an enemy. HH wants to look at PF as an enemy. We are all going to know to say we are brothers fighting for good governance in the country. Then we leave it in the hands of God to choose a leader. Then we as a church, we pray, and the citizen of the nation, they vote.
Hallelujah.
That is democracy. That is what it must be. Not what we are talking.
Bishop,
Therefore, before moving across, it is wrong for a man of God to stand and to say, you're going to be the next president. Actually, that is a security hazard. And if that is inciting the people, in South Africa, you can go to jail for that. Because you are suggesting to the people.
That's right.
So if God reveals to me who's going to be into power, I knew that President Jacob Zuma was not going to finish the term. I was in prayer. God showed me. I never announced it in the church, but I called my business people in the church who are doing tenders. They are about 14. I sat with them and I said, this is in confidence. It's not going out. But we need to pray. And I told them, this is what the Lord showed me. Jacob Zuma is not finishing the term. This is what God showed me. And I think the next president is going to be His Excellency Ramaphosa. And some of them did not believe. Some of them believed. And I told them, the reason why I'm telling you is just to prepare you that there will be a shift, a change. Because remember, in tendering in South Africa, I don't know about Zambia, it is also depends on political power. Who is in power? So I told them,
Who you know.
Who you know. And it happened. Samuel came into power and they say, how you said it. But if that was said to one of these young prophets, they would stand and flood Facebook and speak and cook. No, you don't do that.
You know what
You don't do that. You need a lot of wisdom.
In 1996,
Yes.
President Sata called me.
Right.
He said, Pastor, I need you. I first went to his house in Avondale. Then I also went to, his office.
Yes.
Next to National Meeting. That's where he was operating from as minister without portfolio.
Right.
He says to me, Pastor, pray for me. And pray for these people. 1996. Because I'm going to be the president of Zambia.
Look at that.
1996.
96.
Yes.
That's far back.
He told me. And I prayed for him, I counseled him, but God is my witness. You ask any one of my children, my church members, they didn't know anything.
That is it.
They didn't even hear anything. There are people that I took directly to Sata.
Yes.
They are watching. Even the late President Chilwame, so rest in peace. Even President Mwanawasa.
Yes.
But when I come in the pulpit, there was no connection.
You are preaching the word. You are a prophet to the
I
nation.
am representing Jehovah.
The kingdom of God.
So
Yes.
for me to lift up Vasata, may so rest in peace, or to lift up Vachiluva, I felt it was wickedness on my part.
It is not correct.
I just wanted to preach the word.
We preach the word.
And guided the people.
Yes.
Few weeks before President Sata went to be with the Lord, Mr. Director, give me that picture, show it to the people. This picture, Bishop, President Sata came to say bye to my family.
Wow.
He just said, Pastor Chiluba, I'm now going to be president. I came to say bye. He just called me and he said, come and pick me. I said bye to your relatives, to your wife and children.
Look at that.
This picture you have seen, it's because the children said, Daddy, these photos are memorable. How will people know that President Sata came to say bye? But even the time we were voting, I never announced anything in church.
That is integrity.
Never.
That is
no one even knew.
Yeah, that is integrity.
You know. Others came to know that I was so close to President Sata when I took pastors to State House.
Wow.
Because others were calling him Satan. That is not Satan. He left in. They called him Satan. And he would say, Pastor Chiluba, look at how these people are calling me. As pastors. That man was broken at one time, I can tell you.
Then if the late President Satan needed to go to the church, how will he go to the church when the church calls him such names? When the church stops to preach the gospel and we start to call our leaders names that are not correct, how will a man like him go to church? The church, he feels that the church is a rival to him. Hence, I repeat, Jesus came to form a party that accommodates all political parties. And the party Jesus died for is a party called Christianity. And all of us, we can be in that party and be brothers as we fight for the good governance of our nation.
Amen.
As we pray for the good governance of our nation. No political party must make the other party an enemy or a rival. It's not necessary. Voting is in the hands of the citizens. We can campaign peacefully. We can campaign prayerfully. We can bring your manifesto. If people believe in your manifesto, they are going to vote. We had UNIPA for a very long time. Then MMD came into power. Then PF came into power. All this was not brought in because of anything. It was the citizens of the country that voted. So we voted PF. So now the votes will be coming. The citizens of the country, they will choose. So whoever, even these guys who say, I put PF into power, that's madness.
I'm telling you.
No prophet can put a government into power.
That's sheer ignorance and stupidity.
That's ignorance.
Man of God, there is no, like you said, not even the Pope.
No.
High as we respect the Pope,
the
Pope cannot issue instructions to say vote for this one.
And
he's not even into that.
And here is my question. Somebody says, I gave the PF or the political parties or whatever these guys were in power something to win the votes. I refuse. I'm going to tell you why I refuse. Number one, if you are going to give something maybe to the MP of Kabwata, maybe it's whoever is in Kabwata or the MP of Kabwe, you give him something so that he can come into power. Fine, I agree. If the man in Kabwe gets into power, that does not qualify the party to come into power. Because you must also understand how votes are counted. You must also understand what puts you into power, because we still got the opposition who have won certain constituencies and in power.
Bishop, just the mere fact that I gave them something to win, are you not a witch?
In fact,
are you not a sangwa?
I was coming to that even before I hit on that. If somebody gives you something here, or he gave one person here in Lusaka, how will that thing influence a person in Chipata? How will that thing influence that person in Mwenelunga? How will it influence somebody in Luapula? The devil himself is not omnipresent.
No.
Let's start there.
No.
Only God is omnipresent.
And is right omniscient.
Right now, Satan, I can comfortably say, is not in Zambia. He's not here.
Wherever he is, he cannot be in.
But he's not here. The way Zambia looks is not here.
And not only that, Bishop, what people may not understand the word omnipresent is to be present everywhere
yes,
at any time. So if Lucifer is in New York,
he cannot be here.
He cannot be in New York.
No. He can only be in one place at
a particular
so
time.
Anything that is related to him is not omnipresent.
No.
So it can never put a political party in power.
No.
Because the political party is represented in all the provinces in Zambia. So there is no reason even for Honorable is it Sumaila?
Sumaili, yes.
Sumaili to panic about a phone call or a declaration of one small boy that says, I'm going to come and visit you at night. Listen, if a pastor is going to say, I'll visit you at night, he's a witch. If a pastor will say to you that you're going to die, he's a witch. Because God never called us to kill, he called us in the midst of reconciliation. So all these people that are propagating death from the pulpit, they are not from God. And I'm going to let you know, ladies and gentlemen, this gospel of saying, me, I've got power, I can do this thing to you, it is not from God. That's why even a prophet who say, on the 19th of January, the president or whoever general or your mother would die, that is not prophecy. That is divination. Because prophecies are, I move in the prophetic. I run prophetic revivals in my church. But one thing I can tell you is, when we talk about prophecy, prophecy must come to correct, must come to rebuke, must come to exhort, it must come to build. Now, when somebody say, I've heard of many prophets that say, I see the president is going to die on the 20-something and 20-something, and the president died. And they bring the thing on TV to say, he's a man of God. You watch what he said, it has come to pass.
Rubbish.
How do you glory in somebody's tears. I lost my father. You prophesied that my father would die. I am crying, I am broken. And you are showing it on TV. And you say you are a true prophet. You prophesied the death of my father. Do you know how much that has broken me?
And the thing is, Bishop,
That is divination.
when is Boko Haram going to die?
Thank you very much. That is divination. That's divination. That is witchcraft. These guys are pulling a mileage on things that are not supposed to be there. Now, like you are saying, a lot of prophets have come from Nigeria. That's why even Zambians, they have changed their accents. They speak like Nigerians because they think there is anointing in that accent. You must speak proper English. Don't speak that English. You think there is anointing in that. There is nothing. Now, here is a challenge. Boko Haram, they have never found him in Nigeria. And there is so many prophets in Nigeria. Why can't they show us where Boko Haram is? Why they are not showing us where Boko Haram is?
Prophesy the area.
Prophesy the area and the place. We go and arrest Boko Haram. They cannot.
Now look at what you have said, man of God. Do you know that in the Bible, there is a man of God clearly indicated?
Yes.
He would go to the king and say, don't use this way.
Don't use this way.
Your enemies are there.
Exactly.
Use that way.
Agabus.
And the king was saying, who among the cabinet tells that prophet?
Exactly. And Agabus, he came and lifted the girdle of Paul. He said, the only owner of this will be arrested.
Oh.
That is prophecy. Not all these kind of the things where these are manipulators. These are informed people who are not using scriptures. This thing has become a thing of business.
Like you said, the source of information. The guy in South Africa even admits to say, I've been informed that this is this. You are shutting my Facebook account. You are going to do. Zambians feeding him. Yeah, out of ignorance. The man is bringing confusion. Look at this scripture, Bishop. I want you to make a comment. Mr. Director, give me 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 33.
Yeah.
Give me 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 33. I want you to say something about this word.
Yes.
Because all these things, man of God, they're in the Bible.
It's written.
Why we don't read and understand, I don't know. 1 Corinthians chapter 14,
Verse 33.
verse 33.
For God is not the author of confusion, but the peace, as in all the churches of the saints. Yes.
God is not the author.
Yeah, and when you go down in some scriptures, it even talk about prophecy.
Yes.
Let one prophesy,
That's right.
another one judge.
Yes.
Same chapter.
Oh.
So God is not the author of confusion, is the God of peace. So anyone who utters a word that brings confusion. You see, I have delivered many people, and many people have tried to help them in South Africa by God's grace. Even in this country, I preach a lot in this country. I've preached in many churches. People that are watching me, they know I've been with Bishop Malenga, I've been with Edgar Ngambi, I've been with Sunday, I've been almost everywhere. But the truth of the matter is, you find that a person come pregnant, and the prophet will say, I see this pregnancy miscarried. And the person will go home crying, and the depression causes the pregnancy to be terminated. Because why? He put a spell of witchcraft on them mentally. Why can't you say something good? The Bible says whatever is good, whatever is pure, whatever is of a good report, think about such things. Why you only think about wrong? Now, am I saying God cannot reveal anything negative? No, God can. But what is the purpose of prophecy? Prophecy is revelation. God reveals to redeem, like what you said now. A prophet comes and says, don't use this way. Your enemies are on this way. Elijah was in prayer.
Yeah.
When he brought that revelation,
Absolutely.
and he told the king, and he said, your enemies have set up themselves that way. Don't go that way. I think that was King Ahab, I think.
Yes, King
Ahab, yes.
Even this Micah.
Yes, even Micah.
When they consulted him,
Exactly.
the king even said, put him in prison.
Put him in prison.
When I come,
Yes.
I will deal with him. He says, that's if you come back.
Now, what do you see there? What do you see there? there, you see redemption.
Yeah.
But today, it's divination. You die, you die. You've been in an accident, you have got an accident. Then you become accident conscious because your mind, look, the mind is a very powerful thing. What is planted in your mind, it may rule your heart. That's why the Bible says, whatsoever you think, so you will be. Your thoughts got a very big dictation on your behavior. That's why if I tell you you've been in an accident, you always be accident conscious. Before you realize you bumped the car. And the prophet said, I told him. Because you never brought
And the Bible says, guard your heart.
Guard your heart.
All diligence.
Your diligence.
Out of it comes the issues of life. That's Proverbs 4.
So that's where now, personally, I moved away. And I'm trying to say, ministry is not about money. Ministry is about souls. And I'm trying to say to the churches that are blessed with good standing pastors, they must stand and support them. Because there is also an extreme. The reason why these pastors are taking the survival route, they feel the church has neglected them. They see members come with big cars. They see members live in big houses. They see members running big businesses. Then they don't give to them. They don't help them. So these pastors go to extreme. They start to threaten them. They say, oh, God has opened my eyes. That Benz will kill you. Give it to me. I want to redeem it. Because they realize. So we must also align the church.
Which you're going to as manipulation.
As manipulation.
We want that.
Yes. So we need also to correct the church. As we correct the prophets, the false prophets, let's also correct the uncaring church in Zambia. The church must appreciate. The Bible says you must always recognize those who labor amongst you. Especially those who are faithful, you must give them a double honor. But a lot of times also, we have business people who are not interested to know where do you stay, sir? What car do you drive?
How much do you pay for your rent? They don't ask. They're just happy for you to release the anointing every Sunday. They are happy for their kids to be healed. The church also in Zambia need to learn to take care of pastors. Just even without going far, Bishop.
Yes, sir.
Do you know how many people have been blessed by Camnet?
Yes.
But you find hundreds saying we enjoy, but there are few who even ask, if at all, to say, Pastor, how much does it cost for you to run this?
Like right now, there is load shedding. You are running a gen. That gen is running on diesel because you want to feed the nation with the truth of the word. How many ask a question? How does Camnet run? This thing does not fall from heaven. It takes power. It takes machinery. There is a staff here, and the staff are human beings. You're not going to keep them here and not give them anything. You're not going to keep them here without food. You won't keep them here without a salary.
And they came since morning.
They came since morning.
Tonight they are still with us.
They are serving. How many Camnet viewers are seated there and they say, how can I become a blessing? There are business people here who have got enough in their pockets and they can just commit for 12 months and sow a seed in Camnet. We enjoy this program. Some of them are even politicians. Some of them are business people. Some of them are ordinary people. You are watching us even right now and you are getting blessed. You are getting the knowledge. Like the things we are talking about. It has liberated thousands of people today.
Absolutely.
They are liberated. But how can we keep Camnet? That is also another extreme of the church. We don't want to get on Camnet and start to prophesy. Where you say your eyes are open. You say you can see. 0977. We don't want that. Say the owner of the number, call now. He said, it makes me 50,000. You are dying tomorrow. You see, there is an extreme also on the side of the church. So we are saying, fellow Zambians, fellow Christians, fellow believers, let us learn to be human. In South Africa, we call it Ubuntu, where you learn to appreciate. You say, this thing is working for me. Let me appreciate. How can I partner with it?
Do you know, Bishop, I must say this.
Yes.
There is one lady in this nation. She has refused for my wife and I to mention to the nation her name.
Yes.
every single month, she sends 1,000 kwacha.
Every month.
Every single month, she sends 1,000 kwacha.
If we had 300 people like that, and we had 300,000, I believe we can expand this station.
Absolutely.
I believe we can increase machinery.
Absolutely, we can go far. And there are some people, they've also said, Pastor, don't mention our names. Bishop, I'll tell you.
Yes.
One lady and another man, every single week, they send 10 kwacha.
Look at that. So it's not even the amount, it's the attitude.
The other person sends 20 kwacha every day. We have their names.
My God.
Every week, you see 10 kwacha coming through.
Look
and there is a man who works somewhere, a low job. He keeps on saying, Pastor, pray for me. God will bless me one day.
And I'll give more.
He sends 5 kwacha. I've spoken to him on phone.
That's a heart.
When he sends that 5 kwacha, I have a conversation with him to 20 minutes.
And it's more than 5 kwacha.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
Because he blesses
But you
our
are
hearts.
appreciating his heart.
Absolutely.
He is blessing the world.
And he says, Pastor, one day God will bless me. This 5 kwacha, I will give more. All the time.
Somebody is listening to that.
Oh,
And can do more than 5 kwacha. Just keep coming. That is the thing that I'm talking about. The genuine are neglected. The force are being backed. And the nation is getting destroyed. We need the people who believe in the truth. The people who want to see God changing our nation, Zambia, to make sure that they partner with the truth of the gospel. I know you're very careful on this station. You don't bring anyone. And you are very strict.
even Team Cabinet, they can't let me. You know, there are people who phone here
Yes.
and say, Pastor Chiluba, please keep our station correct. We don't want to say 10 people. They write, some send messages, some phone calls,
Exactly.
and say, this is our station.
We want it pure.
We want it to be kept like that.
And you have done that. Because if you wanted the money, you would have brought everybody and they pay you. But it's not what you want.
No.
You want to preserve the nation. You want to unite the nation. There are people watching us. This is what needs to be done. You know, my prayer to God is that people in this country are going to love the gospel and partner with the gospel. Do you know it's a shame that even a Bemba Bible must be interpreted and sponsored by a white person?
Oh.
That's why we are poor. Bemba Bible. Bembas won't pay for it. Let's interpret the Bible in Bemba. Bembas themselves in Lusaka.
They want to pay.
They won't pay for it. It's a mentality.
A white man has
A white man will do it.
for your language.
For your own language. You employ an interpreter and pay him for you. The Gideon International, how many people partner with Gideon International to put Bibles in hospitals and prison? We don't do that. That is the heart that God gave us now in our missions. Hence, I was telling you the story that I went to Pakistan.
Bishop, may God bless you. Before we go off, let's take a quick break. What you have mentioned has blessed my heart.
Yes, sir.
Before we close, we'll take a few minutes and look at this area of Zambia, a Christian nation.
Right.
Team Cabinet, don't go anywhere. Keep watching Cabinet TV, and remember, Cabinet TV is not just another channel. Bye-bye. Dear Cabinet TV viewers, welcome to Partnership of Greatness. Again, my wife is not with me tonight, but I had the privilege of being with my son, Simon Chavinga, and now I have the Apostle Alex Mwami. When you are in Nelspruit, get there. He runs one of the largest churches. And some of these big boys of the gospel, Noel Jones and them, when you hear they're in South Africa, they go to his church. And may God bless you. Bishop.
Yes.
You know there is a battle
Yes.
in this nation.
That's right.
Which people don't know.
That's correct.
The declaration that President Chiluba made
Yes.
in 1991,
1991.
people don't understand the implications.
That's correct.
That is fought by some pastors,
Yes.
by some bishops, that he did not consult us. He should not have made it a Christian nation. Compounded with that,
Yeah.
this current president,
Yes.
he declared 18th day of October
A national
as a
prayer.
national day of praying and fasting.
fasting, right.
Praying and fasting.
Praying and fasting.
Nothing more. Just that. Is that a crime?
No, it's not a crime. It's not a crime. As a leader, as a king, FTJ Chiluba, obviously him being a Christian, he looked at the nation of Zambia. He realized that this country must be dedicated to God, and he declared it a Christian nation. He did not need to consult to anyone. He did not need to ask anybody about that declaration.
That's right.
That declaration was right. The Bible says, "Blessed is a nation whose God is their Lord. Whose their Lord is God." So he brought a tremendous blessing. Now, the challenge is the declaration he made, it became a law in the realms of the spirit. When it became a law in the realms of the spirit, the realms reacted. And the realms can use anybody and anything, can even use the church to fight the declaration. Therefore, between 1991 and 2020, so much is happening in the churches because of not being sensitive to the declaration. We need to preserve that. It's very important. What FTJ Chiluba did, it was a prophetic move to bring revival in this nation. Then why should we fight such a thing? And there is nothing wrong to do that. When Islamic nations were declared as Islamic nations, one of them will be Pakistan and the other countries in North Africa, who did the president consult? They just declared it an Islamic nation, and it became an Islamic nation. So why should the president consult with the church? When God has spoken. By the way, is it a crime to declare it a Christian nation? If he never declared it a Christian nation, it must be declared a what?
A secular nation.
It can never be a secular nation because the leader was a Christian. The leader is a Christian. The reason why I refuse, and this is what I say, you and me have been discussing this week. I visited Pakistan last year. On my birthday, the Lord led me to go into Pakistan. Pakistan, it is straightforward. The Republic of the Pakistan, an Islamic nation. Now, in Pakistan,
Islamic Republic of Pakistan.
yeah, Islamic nation of Pakistan. Yes. So, in Pakistan, it's an Islamic nation. And if it's an Islamic nation, all the people that are ruling are Muslims. In Pakistan, you can't be the head teacher. You can never be the head in the post office, managerial position. You can never be in politics if you are not a Muslim. Why? It's an Islamic nation.
So if you are a managing director of a big company,
Yes.
and you become born again, what happens?
You lose your position.
Really?
Because a Christian can never be in any managerial position. You must never be given a chance to rule or to head any department. That is for Muslims. It's an Islamic nation. It has been declared it's an Islamic nation and the other Muslim nation. So our brothers Muslims, they know exactly what needs to be done, and they are very united.
And they rule according to
And they rule according to Quran. Yes. They rule according to Quran. That's why they are not worried about a Christian who dies. They are not worried about the Afghans who kill Christians. They are not afraid of the bombs when they bomb churches and they bomb all these people who are worshiping God. It does not worry them because to them, if you are not a Muslim, you are not a human being.
You are an infidel.
And they are so disciplined that they don't even do an intermarriage.
Really?
They will never marry a Christian. You must convert. Then they'll marry you. But Christians, if Zambia is a Christian nation, we also need to know the privileges that the Christians are supposed to have in a Christian nation. The church need to have privileges in a Christian nation. But it's a shock today that in a Christian nation, a church is persecuted. Now, it's not only persecuted, the church is persecuting each other.
I'm telling you.
That's what I'm going to say. No one is persecuting the church is persecuting each other. Why? Because the church is divided. How is it divided? It is divided because the church, I repeat, it has become political instead of being spiritual. And the problem comes in there. It's so touching that in some Islamic nations, if you declare you're a Christian or a pastor, they deport you back. They don't want you.
Really?
They don't want you.
I'm told that.
That's why in my passport, I've never written occupation. Pastor, no. I've written missionary. Yes.
So I'm told that even in Dubai, you can't pray on a Sunday. You can't go to church on a Sunday.
No. I've preached in Dubai. I've got a friend of mine in Dubai. I've got church I preach in Dubai. I usually take my wife into Dubai in July during her birthday. In Dubai, because Arabs are Muslims and they pray on Friday. On Saturday and Sunday is not recognized. It's a full working day. And they don't give you an off on Sunday. So Friday is a praying day. So in Dubai, Christians, we go to church on Friday from 10 to 1. Because that's when also the Muslims are praying.
What about the seventh days there?
No, they are going to come on Friday. Whether you are Watchtower, whether you are whatever you call yourself, Seventh-day Adventist, the seven won't work. And they go on Friday.
You have to be a 60th.
You're a Sixth-day Adventist. They don't compromise. But how much are we compromising as Christians in this nation? How much are we compromising?
Bishop, I was in one meeting. I must tell you, if there is one thing that God has delivered me from,
yes,
is to sugarcoat things.
That's correct.
I was in a meeting where we were called Muslims and Christians to forge the way forward for this nation. And I said, what are these Muslims doing? Planning for the nation of Zambia.
What are they planning?
With us.
No, they can't.
I said, the reason why they are quiet now, it's because they are in the minority.
I agree.
The moment this will become an Islamic nation, you donate tongues. I'm telling you.
I agree with you.
You donate your heads because
they don't compromise.
I am saying this because, it pains when you see us Christians, Bishop. In fact, there is a document which we read with my wife here.
Yes.
Do you know 1965, Dr. Kaunda declared Zambia a Christian nation? I'll send it to you.
In 65?
1965. He declared Zambia a Christian nation. And as Christians, President Chirwakam says, we shall live in tolerance with all other religions. That's in the preamble of the Constitution.
Yes.
We cannot persecute any person because Christianity is about love.
Yeah, it's about love.
And God says, thou shalt not kill.
Yes.
So we obey the 10 commandments.
Yes. I agree.
And why not submit to a God of love? To a God of peace.
That's right.
To a God, we are not going to kill anybody.
No.
There is no way. I cannot allow that somebody should kill a stubborn Muslim or what? Why?
No.
Because that Muslim is made in the image of God.
And need to convert.
And
one day
he may receive Christ. So why should you kill?
No, you must.
But like you said, these people in other countries, once you're a Christian, I've got a video, man of God, I don't know if you are brave to see it. A chairman of the Christian organization in one of the countries in Africa.
In Africa, yes.
They broke his neck with a panga.
Oh, yeah.
Put him in a small dug grave.
And they put him there.
They put him there with something. And the man stands there, he chants about Quran here. And the man goes like this. He goes again and the head tilts. And these friends are looking at this. I said, Jehovah, what is going on? How do you kill a person like this?
That is the reason why the only God of love, the Creator, Jehovah, and His Son Jesus, who came and demonstrated the love on the cross of Calvary, who is our Lord and Savior, must be promoted and spread in this country. Because us, we're not going to do that to any religion.
No, you can't.
But if any other religion take over this nation, Christians are going to be on a high jump. Let us not go very far. What is happening in Nigeria? What is happening in the Plateau State in Nigeria? Churches are burnt right now. Pastors are being killed. Christians are being killed. In the north of Nigeria, up to Kaduna, today as we are talking, Christians are being killed. Today, they are being burnt.
Last week,
in Nigeria, 5 hours flight from where we are.
Last week they bombed a church in Kaduna. You heard
Exactly.
They petro bombed it.
That's what I'm trying to
The
say.
Christians were there.
But today what will shock you is that even in our nation, a Christian church, you have an overnight and they're going to say you are making noise. But these mosques here in town, they are using their speakers, megaphones, with those songs of theirs and those prayers. No one is complaining. The church is against each other. Now, if Zambia is a Christian nation, we need to uphold the Christian values. A Christian in this country must enjoy the declaration and enjoy the presence of God.
And not only that, Bishop, you know, in that declaration, it gives us the peace.
Correct.
Look at the two most powerful nations on earth. Two powerful nations on earth.
Yes.
America. And Britain.
And Britain.
Do you know the founding fathers of America founded America on the principle of
yes.
Do you know that Britain, where the King James Version came from?
Yeah, King James Version.
When King James was a king.
Yes.
Those people, they respected people like John Knox.
Exactly.
The Queen Victoria, she even said, I fear the prayers of John Knox than the armies of Europe put together.
Yeah, correct.
And look at how prosperous Britain and America were. But now they throw prayer out.
That's right.
Look at the guns that go on in America. Now there is even more division.
There's more.
They never even thought there would be division in America between the Republicans and the Democrats.
The Democrats.
The division, even the impeachment of Trump. You've seen what has happened.
Exactly.
The difference between the two is not different from night and day.
No, it's not. That's
throwing God out.
That South Africa is a secular nation. We are feeling the heat.
I'm telling you.
And we are saying, you are blessed in Zambia to have Zambia as a Christian nation. Now, South Africa is a secular nation where they said we are going to embrace every religion. Now, when you embrace every religion, there's nothing wrong with that because we are praying to the God of love. But South Africa went ahead and removed prayer out of the schools.
Really?
Yes, and they removed the preaching out of the schools. We preach because we just force.
I just know that South Africa is the first African country to go secular.
Yes.
It's a secular nation.
They removed all that. Today, teachers cannot teach in South Africa because students are slapping and stabbing teachers, and students are killing each other. There is a rape everywhere.
In South Africa?
Oh my God. They have demonstrated they are failing. Because why? They removed prayer, they removed God. When I preached on that funeral I mentioned earlier on, it was one of the things I said, I'm appealing to you, my leaders, bring prayer back. Bring the preaching. Test us as a church. Give us a chance. Give us 1 year. Allow prayer, allow preaching in the schools and in the jails. Let us come and preach in the schools. See if we won't drop guns. See if we won't drop daggers. See if we fail as a church, remove it. But they never gave us a chance. And look what is happening in South Africa. If this thing comes to Zambia, you're not going to like it. So Zambia being a Christian nation, it is a great blessing. But do you know why we are failing to sustain that declaration?
Because of the division.
Because of the division, and the church has lost their voice. Pastors are looking for material blessing from whoever is in power.
My goodness.
Then they refuse to become prophets. They refuse to pray. Some of them are hate because they feel they are not getting the connections they must get. Some of them they feel they are not getting the business they must get. Some of them they feel they are broken promises. And after that they turn and they start to speak hating words. And they start to pray against. And they start to prophesy, this government is over. This one is what? I don't care which government is over, which government is coming in. We are praying for good governance. Whoever leader God gives us, we pray for him.
Bishop, I've served under Dr. Kaunda.
Yes, sir.
I've served under Dr. Kaunda. Our father is still alive.
Yeah.
On one-to-one. Up to this president who is here.
Yes.
But one thing is, like I said, I'll never look at presidents as my savior.
No.
There is only one savior, Jesus Christ. When I stand to preach, I'll preach Christ.
Oh, yes.
And Jehovah has sustained my wife and I all these years, Bishop. All these years. And God is blessing us. Here is Cabinet today.
That's right.
It's all by the grace of God. No one man person can come and stand that we gave him on a silver plate.
No.
Now, what you are saying here, other people, pastors especially, we are not seeing that the source of blessings is Jehovah. Because David said, where shall my help come from?
Where shall my help come from?
My help comes from above, the maker of heaven and earth.
Amen.
We have forgotten all that.
Yes.
All we want is a connection.
Connections.
To Bishop Mwami.
And they are losing
connection to the president.
And they are losing it.
You know, I pray with the president.
No.
And all this. That's all there is. When you ask, when was the last time the Holy Spirit visited your church?
It's
they
not
don't
there.
even have it in the diary.
They have never seen it. They are not seeing revival in a Christian nation.
No.
Zambia being a Christian nation, we are supposed to be seeing revivals. But I've listened to a number of people, when they preach, they are so political than theological. And the politics is not going to save anyone. Jesus will. Hence I repeat, Jesus made a political party, because politics simply means management. Politics means simple. If you are a politician, it means you are a manager. So you must manage the citizens. You must manage your place of domain. That's what politicians do. Politics is management. That's a simple definition from the dictionary.
Bishop, I'll tell you a story which I told on this. It really touched my heart. A true story.
Yes.
This is not fiction, what I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
And the nation.
Yes.
A mother sending her daughter to go and deliver the eggs in a trunk of a vehicle.
Wow.
Full of eggs. She had 2 boys and there were 2 girls in the car.
Yes.
And as they were about to start off, the mother comes out and says, my daughter, remember to go with Jesus where you are going. In America. And the young girl says, Mom, the vehicle is full. Jesus can't be with us in the car.
Right.
If he wants, he can go in the boot. There is a room where there are eggs. And the mother said, I said, remember to go with Jesus. She says, I told you that there is no room for Jesus. Bishop, less than 5 kilometers from their house, head-on collision. True story.
My word.
Every person died and mingled in that accident. When they inspected the vehicle and opened the boot, not even one egg
was broken. Because she put Jesus in the boot.
I'm telling you, not even one egg was broken.
Jesus was in the boot.
Oh,
that's very powerful. Jesus was in the boot.
Was in the boot.
If Jesus was in the car,
they would have lived.
They would have lived. But the eggs lived because Jesus can go in the boot. There is no space here.
That my testimony has moved
my word. My word. My word.
Not even one egg with that impact broke in the boot.
This is the reason why we need to preach Christ.
Amen.
You see, I'm praying that the church is going to go back to the spirit of missions, where souls are going to become the first thing in our hearts, where the church is going to learn to finance the gospel, where the church is going to learn to sacrifice for the gospel. I'm going to tell you something. When I made a decision to go into Pakistan, it was not an easy decision. My wife would tell you, I remember the day I was supposed to go, the ticket is bought, we were sleeping in bed in the morning. Early in the morning I woke up, she asked me a question. How do you feel about this thing going to Pakistan? I could tell my wife is not that easy. And I told her, honey, if Jesus hung on the cross for us, there is no price I can pay for the Savior that is more than that. I feel led to go into the Muslim nation. I've studied about it. It's 1% Christians. I want to take the gospel there. I carried 3 clothes. Jeans I was wearing and a t-shirt. I had one traditional suit, and the second one, I had one pair of a shoe and my pajama. and I carried my toiletries. My bag was very empty because I couldn't tell if I'll come back or not. But my mind was so sober and I was at peace. And entering into Pakistan, the Islamic nation. Number one, I paid for the crusade. It was $12,000, which I sent. I paid for my hotel. I paid for my ticket. I paid for the lunch for the pastors, $2,500 that came. They even overpowered my budget because I expected maybe about 500. There were 2,500 that came because they are hungry for the gospel. I spent close to $20,000. All my savings, I took everything out, and it was gone to just go and preach the gospel. But the joy of it, two things happened. Among the Muslims, it's not what you say, it's what they see. So God is so gracious that he confirmed his word. That's why I'm telling you, we need to go back to a place of power. This prophetic thing without power, it is killing the gospel. This thing is not healing anyone.
Just stop there. I want Mr. Director. Mr. Director, please show this clip when this man of God was praying for the people in Pakistan.
That's right.
See how they were trooping. Take a moment and look at this.
In the name of Jesus, healing power, healing power, healing power, healing power, healing power, healing power. In the name of Jesus, receive the healing, receive the healing, receive the healing. Receive the healing. In the name of Jesus, receive the healing. Receive the healing. Receive the healing. Receive the healing. In the name of Jesus, receive the healing. Receive the healing. Receive the healing. Receive the healing. In Jesus' name, Jesus is touching you already.
Yes, Lord,
Believe as I touch you, Jesus is touching you.
जैसे मैं आपको छू रहा हूँ, यीशु आपको छू रहा है.
Receive the healing in the name of Jesus. Receive the healing. Receive the healing. Receive the healing. Receive the healing. Receive the healing in the name of Jesus. Receive the healing in Jesus' name. I release the healing power. I release the healing power. I ask the Lord to touch. Ask the Lord to heal you. Ask the Lord to heal you. Right now in Jesus' name. Receive the healing. Receive the healing. Receive the healing. In the name of Jesus. Receive the healing. In Jesus' mighty name.
यीशु के काले नाम
Receive the healing. Receive the healing.
बाकी लोग अपनी जगहों पे बैठे
Mighty name of Jesus.
ताकि अंदाजा हो कि भाइयों की बारी आने वाली.
Mighty name of Jesus. Mighty name of Jesus.
बैठ जाओ अपनी जगहों.
Receive the healing. In the name of Jesus.
I'm telling you, they are hungry.
Now, Bishop,
Yes, sir.
these masses, did you lay hands on every one of them?
You cannot escape. I was tired, but everybody want to be laid hands on. They have an opportunity of getting a preacher from overseas who is talking about Jesus. In this meeting, they have seen a child who could not hear, deaf ears opened. And they say, this is a good man. That's how they call you. They don't say an anointed person. They say, this is a good man. Yes, he's a good man. They start streaming. You call for the sick. It's like the whole church is sick. And they realize they were sick spiritually. Everybody wants your hands. That's how hungry they are. So when they hear you be in the next town, some of them will jump on those motorbikes to come to the next meeting. That's how hungry they are. For the gospel.
And here, we are even going late to church.
No, here,
And we have Bibles. You told me the story of a Bible.
I was preaching at a pastor's meeting. My interpreter, I finished preaching. He asked me a question because he saw me the other time I was using the iPad. So this time I carried a hardcover. And he said, is this the only Bible you have? I knew where he was heading when he asked me that question. I said, no, I've got several, but I came with the iPad. He said, oh, okay, never asked. I asked him, do you want the Bible? He said, oh, yes. I gave him the Bible. He could not believe.
No.
He grabbed the Bible like this. Thank you, Jesus. Ooh. He dropped the Bible down, knelt, held my feet, kissed my shoes.
No.
Bible. One Bible, not two, one. Not the one I was using. held the Bible in his hands like that, then I ask myself a question to say, how many of us have got these Bibles? We don't even read them. When somebody kissed my shoes for giving him a Bible, not money. I didn't give him $100. I gave him a Bible.
And here in Zambia, we have several versions which we don't even read.
Exactly. You don't read them. We carry 3 of them in the back. We go give somebody who will be rolling on the ground for giving him a Bible. Because not all of them got the Bibles. They don't have it.
And you are doing missions there. You told me you opened something, you are building.
Yes, while I was there, when the pastors came 2,500, I discovered there's no Bible school. And no mission is going into Pakistan because it's dangerous. They kill. There are guns everywhere.
During the day?
Yes, anytime. And these people, when you gather for fellowships and prayer, they can just bomb the place. So you've got to be very careful.
And what does the government do?
No. It's an Islamic nation. You are contravening their religion and their beliefs. So you can't complain anywhere that they killed the Christian.
My goodness. So they can kill you anytime.
You will never be able to complain anywhere that you were killed in a place of worship. You are contravening their beliefs. It's an Islamic nation. So when I looked at that, one of them said, so I said, let me start a Bible school, Holy Ghost Firehouse, Institute of Biblical Studies. So we got land in Pakistan, which already blocks are being gathered. I've got pictures. And we'll be starting to build. My aim is to train pastors in Pakistan. There is one person who is coming to South Africa now. We'll be with him for 3 months. He was trained at Aga Institute. So we are empowering him to be the dean, and I'll be going there 4 times a year. Yeah, then I want also to develop, maybe I can do the Skyping and teach them. Then from there, they'll go and plant churches.
Next time, Bishop, you are going to Pakistan.
Yes, sir.
Please, my wife and I are building the church.
Yes.
And you know the view of this cabinet.
Of course, yes. Sorry.
But remember us in prayer.
I will.
I would like my wife and I to send you with $200.
Good.
Thank you. Just buy 2 pockets of cement.
Thank you. It
We
will go a long
want
way.
to pour a seed into Pakistan.
It will go a long way.
Because if you can buy us cement, just cement
to build.
to contribute to that house of God, my wife and I will be blessed.
It is a great thing.
Yeah,
thank you very, very much.
Such things are quite a blessing.
1% Christianity.
1%?
1% out of the whole population. Every person you meet is a Muslim. They don't know about Jesus. They don't know about prayer. They know about Islam. A Christian is an enemy. It's a tough place. And we are here in this country. It's a Christian nation, and we are fighting Christianity. When other people, it's their prayer point. The 1% of Christians in Pakistan, they pray to have an opportunity you have, where Pakistan can be declared a Christian nation. And we have the declaration, and we are fighting the declaration. We are fighting the leader. Why are we praying? One of the prophets even said, why should government call for prayer?
You know, even...
What rubbish is that?
Even members of parliament, some of them are against the declaration.
They need to...
They are against even that we should have Christian morals enshrined in our constitution. That if we are a Christian nation, we should have Christian morals.
Correct.
It's not in there.
That's
and
right.
The other thing I've challenged the nation, and hear me good again.
Yeah.
Bishop, I discovered late that here in Zambia,
Yes.
a Christian nation,
Yes.
you are not allowed to quote the Bible in parliament.
What?
You are not allowed to quote the Bible in the courts of law in this nation, a Christian nation. You can't use the Bible as an authority. You can't even pray in parliament. Members of parliament are listening. My wife and I have been challenging this nation.
How will we call Zambia a Christian nation if we cannot even pray in parliament, we cannot quote scripture, we cannot use the Bible. This needs to be revisited. And that's where the church needs to stand up and rise, and we say, this is a Christian nation. The Bible must be the center. God must rule and govern in parliament. But if the church are going to fight, the problem that we have is that it looks like churches need to be paid for every Christian declaration made.
And not only that, Bishop.
No.
Not only that, most of us in the pulpit have said it before. We are cowards.
Yes.
You can't speak a word.
I agree.
Each time you want to speak in over speaking a word, I don't know where you hide your name.
Where are you hiding? This is a Christian nation. It has been declared in the Constitution. So we must talk about Christianity freely. And remember, as we talk about Christianity, we are talking about the God of love. God of love. Christians don't kill anyone. Christians don't cause violence. Christians, we do not insult. If you find a person is using bad words in the pulpit, he's not a Christian. Those are the Christians.
He's an imposter.
He's an imposter. A true Christian is going to propagate love and unity in this country.
Love your enemy.
And we're going to love even the enemies, the so-called enemies, and we're going to pray for them. But you see, when you talk about the issue of being afraid, I have seen it. I'm going to go back to the burning issue in this country of one of the so-called prophets, Seer, who has been bringing all these problems on this nation. He's a Nigerian. He cannot come and rule in our country. A Nigerian can't come and shake us.
Failing to rule in his own country.
When he hasn't spoken to President Buhari with all the killings by Boko Haram, so he can't tell us here. You understand? Now the issue is, my problem is that I heard one of the leaders saying, no, in a speech, and say, I am not gonna be able to, I'm not here to say Seer is legitimate or illegitimate. Now, if a leader who believes in the Bible is not going to come clear when he knows this guy, if he says, I've got powers which I give, he cannot be able to say that is witchcraft. It is a problem. And I'm speaking and I'm pleading with all the leaders in this country. Whether you're a politician, as long as you're a believer, you must never dismiss the word of God. You must never be afraid to call a spade a spade. What is written, scripture can never be broken. You can never sugarcoat this thing. Because when you do that, I'm going to doubt you. Because now it's going to mean to say, you mean Seer is not illegitimate? And you say, there are other people who are called seers. No. The seers in the Bible, it was by calling. But Seer one is a nickname. Those are two different things. And we need to correct that. So please, Seer has no power. Seer must not captivate this country. Seer must not threaten PF. He must not try even to encourage, even UPND. Is it UPND? UPND. Must not get excited by the promise of Seer to say you're going to go in power. It's the citizen of these countries, if you've been in power, that will put you in power, not Seer. And it is the citizens of this country through votes, casting of a vote, that will put you in power. It is not what Seer will give you. Seer, if he had power, he would have removed Buhari by now, because they tried the whole nation. They could not remove him. They fought in Nigeria, they didn't want Buhari.
That's right.
But God saw it in his own power. He brought him back. Buhari is still ruling. They wanted him out. Even churches were there to say, we are done with him. But he's there in power.
What you have said, Bishop, is like what I say, that you people, surely you have been to school. You've been to, some of you, to university, and you believe that to win soccer, you need to paint your legs, you need to have tattoos. If those things work, how come we have never won World Cup? Not even one as Africa.
Not one day.
We believe in church.
We believe in church. We lose World Cup every year.
You go to sleep in the graveyard naked,
and you lose World Cup.
And you lose World Cup. The people who don't know that rubbish, they are winning you all the time.
So the truth needs to be first. That's why even when we are here, I'm still saying, sir, the nation needs a prophetic voice. Do you know every leader in this country was quiet about what the young man was saying? Because a lot of people felt this guy is exposing the ruling party. But there was nothing I was exposing. I am a believer. I went to school. I'm learned. What puts government in power? It's the citizens.
You know what, Bishop?
It's a power of a vote. Seer can give you anything. Start a political party. Go and collect what he gave PF. You'll never be in power.
Bishop,
According to you.
the Bible says, my people perish
Yes.
because of lack of knowledge.
Yes.
And the people know, for me to win a stage, to be popular, to be this,
Yes.
like you said, attention, and people don't
They don't understand.
don't say that.
Exactly.
But we want to appeal to the government of Zambia,
That's
the
right.
opposition, and everyone.
And everyone.
Let's come together as one family.
Let's be one family.
Let there be no division.
And let's strive for good governance.
And there should not be tribalism. Bishop, we sing here with my wife. There should be no tribalism. Nobody should look at a Tonga, should look at a Bemba, Lozi, and you say,
Zambia is not for Bembas
That
or
is which
Tongas or Kaondes or Kaluvali.
That is which
Zambia is for every Zambian
73 tribes.
who lives in this country.
They are Zambians.
They are Zambians.
Ero mwalishi waife muchibemba Bishop. Muchibemba tulanda ati suula embwa omuntu munobe tabamusuula. Suula embwa omuntu munobe tabamusuula. Ine Bishop ko ali abansuulire pakyalo bansuulire ng'omukoshi wa nkoko. Do you ever eat omukoshi wa nkoko nawe? Mulimu odeo mwali odapo omukoshi wa nkoko. He said,
is powerful.
Takulie kwengayo lya chinangwa what. Bishop, tulanda tsula embwa. Muntu munobe tamusula.
That's right.
Tewelesa.
You are not
Waliko.
Yes.
Nobody can say, Pastor Shiva will be this. I don't need to get anything from anybody.
No.
My Jehovah says, before I put you in your mother's womb, I knew you.
Exactly.
And I called you by my name.
Exactly what you are saying. And the young preachers must learn this. Young preachers must never neglect process. Every promise has a process. There are many people, Pastor Chiluba, that follow me today, who see Alex today. They see Bishop Alex today. But when you look at that, you're going to discover something. Who is this Bishop Alex that they see today? We went through a process. We were rejected before, even by so-called pastors and the church. Hence, I'm very passionate about saying the church, we must learn to be united. Now, you don't need anything. I run conferences that I'm calling Making Ministry Attractive. And I'm telling people, if you wait on God, promotion and exaltation comes from God. So why must we be afraid? Why must you look for anything? People are being cheated and being lied to. Do you know how many people are flying to Ghana and Nigeria so they're going to open their eyes? Do you know how many people are going there that they want to grow churches? And some of them are dying in the process because of the things that they give them to eat and the things they have to sleep with. It becomes a problem. This is the reason why morality in the church have gone almost to zero. Clergymen, we are supposed to be sustaining marriages and helping young people to live in integrity, but we are the ones in front destroying our own followers.
And prophesying against husband.
And prophesying against husband and telling you your husband is a witch. Your husband is the one killing you.
Your mother-in-law is a witch.
You are already destroying a covenant God put together. But these are the prophets who are not even having stable marriages.
And they are packing churches.
This is my question that I'm asking. Zambia being a Christian nation, what are they going to do about that? Number two, the fathers of the land, what are they saying to these young preachers? There is a problem. These young prophets, they go and seek fatherhood from them, and they bring a big tithe to them. And when they collect the money, they cannot correct their doctrine. That is a problem that we have. This is the reason why me, Pastor Chiluba, with all apologies and respect, I believe in the welfare of a man of God. Me, at a level where I am, I don't need to go to Ghana to collect anything to prosper. I don't need to go to anyone to make me what I am. God has prospered me.
Amen.
He has prospered me. I've gone through this process for 25 years of waiting upon God. So where I am, I don't need any hand of mine. I need the hand of God that carried me throughout this year. throughout these years. But today, you find that the reason why where you are, you refuse these people who are compromising the gospel is because you have gone through the process. And over these years you have been in the ministry, you have seen God lifting you until where you are today. But these people, they have lost faith, but they are in the pulpit. They are looking for shortcuts. These boys brings them cars. They bring them suits which they are buying out of stolen money. Stolen money. I heard another preacher that was preaching this week on YouTube. I'll send you that clip. He was saying he doesn't care about, he said a drug lord came to his church and he said, I am bringing an offering. And the offering I'm bringing, Pastor, please, this is drug money. And the pastor said, it's okay, drop it here. We clean drug money. We don't care about drugs. Money never sinned. Money never did drugs. You did drugs. A preacher, very powerful preacher.
Bishop,
These are so-called forensic prophets.
when are you coming to Zambia for a conference? We want to let the people of Zambia know these young men have been with me the whole morning up to this night.
Yes, sir.
When you are coming to Zambia, you have a church in
I have
Indola.
a church in Indola.
Where about?
We are right in Indola, opposite the rail line. We are at number 8A in Indola, opposite Zambia Railways.
8A.
8A.
Do you visit that church?
Yes, I just had their launch last year. Most of them were seeing an advert on Camnet.
Yes, we
Yes,
doing that.
I do visit the church, and I will be here in July. July 30th, I'm going back to Ndola. But in April, I'm going to be back in Zambia.
We must meet.
We will meet.
Bless the church.
The first thing I need the church to understand is that we must keep the mission. As we keep the mission, God is going to provide our needs. A church was started by God. It's a God thing, and it's God that can sustain it. Jesus said, I'll build my church, and no gates of hell prevail against it. So don't do anything to preserve the church. Let Jesus preserve it.
Amen.
It is his church. Father, in Jesus' name, I pray for the church in Zambia. I release the grace of God. I pray for the unity. I pray for the provision. I pray for the Christian leaders. I pray for the pastors, bishops. I pray for prophets, teachers of this country. Give them the wisdom, the passion, the power. Let revival break in this country.
Hallelujah.
With the result of winning souls coming to Jesus, influential people, politicians, heads of states. Lord, we want to see them serving the Lord and acknowledging that Jesus is Lord. We thank you for our nation, Zambia, which is a Christian nation. And I pray Jesus will prevail in this nation in Jesus' name. And we silence every voice of the enemy, and every voice of witchcraft in Jesus' name. Amen.
And amen. Bishop, it was a joy being with you.
What a privilege.
And greet the people in Nelspruit.
Thank you very much. The pleasure
One
is
of
mine.
the coming days, my wife and I will come to rest in your place.
It will be a pleasure.
And be with your church.
You must know we have the greatest Kruger National Park.
Oh, Kruger National Park
I'm
is
only about 30 minutes away from my house.
You know, I've always thought that Kruger National Park is in Joburg.
No, it's just 30 minutes away from my house.
That's how ignorant I've been.
So it's an open invitation.
An open invitation. The
Anytime.
second one.
Yes.
Can they allow you to have a game meet? Me, I like Wathog.
Yes, no, actually the one they sell themselves, which they have poached, and the biltong they make, and warthog, zebra, elephant, you have enough.
No. If you kill a Wathog, I need to cook it myself. My wife knows how to cook.
I'll need to find out that, because as long as it's not poaching.
God bless. Check Camnet, keep watching Camnet TV, and remember Camnet TV is not just another channel. Shalom, shalom.
It's a song we learned in Zimbabwe. You are Alpha